Sometimes it's not that what he said he wouldn't bring to pass. Sometimes it's just a matter of you do one thing and then it's complete, and then a set of things happen, and then you do another thing and then a set of things happen. I like to call this obedience stacking. There's such a thing called habit stacking from James Clear's book called Atomic Habits. But in with respect to swift and complete obedience, with respect to seeing the word of God come to pass, with respect to developing your destiny, with respect to developing the word of God for your life, it's usually sometimes it could be steps or seasons of swift and complete obedience. So he asks you to do a certain thing, and then you do it, and then certain things happen. And then you wait another season, and then he asks you to do something else, and then you do something else, something happens. Think of it like Moses. God tells Moses to go, set the people of Egypt free. He goes there first. First, he meets with the elders, and then he goes to Pharaoh and he starts delivering the message. You know the famous deliverance story of Moses and Pharaoh. But even though God sent him to go release and set the Israelites free, remember it took a set of plagues and a set of activities before they were actually able to leave. If any one of those were missed, then nothing would have happened. So it's the same thing for your life. That's what it means for your life. Sometimes when God tells you to go do something, especially something that is huge, humongous, grand, something you don't even have favor for, don't have insider knowledge for, don't have expertise for, then it's going to take a set of it's going to take several sets of swift and complete obedience processes. So for instance, you can also think of it like this. The sets of swift and complete obedience is meant to build a platform for you. So think of it from the Genesis experience, Genesis chapter 1. Before God was able to create man, and he needed to create a platform, and he took several steps, 6 days to create the moon, the sun, create light, and separate light from darkness, create the animals, separate the water from land. And then after he had done all of these things, then he was able to create man and put man in it. So if you think of it from a point of view of an analogy, if man was your purpose, if man was the destiny, if man was where he meant to take you to, then it would probably take you 6 steps to be able to get to that man, which would be your purpose and your destiny. Again, just think of it as an analogy. I'm not trying to, mess up the whole creation story here for you, but I'm just trying to use it as an example. So it will be, the first set of obedience, let's do this, and then you do it, and then something happens. So what does that look like for you, and what would that look like for me? So for me, for instance, or maybe for you, you come to LA and go to NYC or wherever you're taken to, or wherever you feel you have your intuition or your inner man, the Spirit of God is speaking to you, telling you to go, wherever that might be. You go there, and of course you are a professional, an accountant, and something similar has happened to me, an accountant or a finance person, and God tells you, what, I don't want you to, I don't want you to get a job. Go get a job working as a busser, washing dishes at a restaurant. And you're like, that doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to you, but it makes sense to him. But again, swift and complete obedience, right? And then you start washing dishes. Then before you know it, 1 or 2 of the applications you sent out, they reach out to you and they give you a full-time job, but then you have a part-time job washing dishes as a busser, and then from bussing, then they ask you to start serving. And then before you know it, God is like, oh, then you meet someone in the industry who comes to eat at a restaurant because that restaurant is their favorite restaurant. And you meet someone in the entertainment industry who's like, I like you, let's meet up, let's become friends. And then before you know, you're invited to come and serve at their house. And then before you know it, they're like, oh, you do finance, you do accounting. Oh, wait a minute. I think you have a nice smile, you have a nice face. You do very well in acting, and then before you know it, the door opens for you to become an actor, actress, or enter entertainment. So it's the same kind of thing. It could be, but it could also happen for you in the diplomatic world, right? It could happen for you in the sports world. I mean, the possibilities are endless with swift and complete obedience, right? But then again, just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it will not happen. It just means that perhaps for you and for me, depending on what area of life it is, or whatever call you have on your life, or whatever purpose or destiny it is, it might take a set of swift and complete obedience processes for you to get there. So stage 1 might be move to LA, get a job. Step 2 might be, as you're working this job, start this thing or build this other thing or connect with these people. Then step 3 might be in building those friendships and relationships. Now that trust is built, more is open, more possibilities are open to you, and then you are leveraged by those people. Because you see, for you to move into your next season, for you to move into the next area or next phase or next level in life, it takes 3 things. It takes knowledge, that is a new set of information to get you to where you need to be, but information alone is not enough. Number two, it takes association. People who can help you get to where you want to be. And trust me, I have been greatly helped by God. I have incredible people in my life. I have incredible coaches in my life, people that I'm grateful for, and I thank God every day for. But then that's not enough. They can help give you the guidance and give you understanding of what you've studied. But the third one is very important. It takes the help of God, the grace of God to get you to where you need to be. But you need to realize that you need to keep following these processes for each season, each stage, or each swift and complete obedience process to get you closer to where you need to be. So again, you might have been called to LA, NYC, or perhaps another country to do something massive beyond your scope, beyond your wildest dreams, because you were called to it. It's something you've been invited to do in participation with the divine, right? But it's probably going to take a set of swift and complete obedience processes. So when it says do A, you do A. When it says do B, you do B. When it says do C, you do C. While doing your ton of the other things you're doing, whether you're working, acting, creating, well, whatever it is, you know, you just keep doing whatever you're doing. But when the instruction comes, you obey swiftly and completely. And as you keep doing that, you will notice that it's almost like from grace to grace, you know, your life is going to get brighter and brighter, and you're going to get closer and closer until you eventually get into it. If you miss any of it, you just delayed yourself, right? But it's not up to him, it's up to us. So just thought I'd encourage you guys with this one today. Again, still getting used to the stuff. I know the video is not it's not posh and everything, but just thought I'd be authentic and share the best that I can. I wish you guys the best, and I wish you guys a day full of good health and prosperity. All right, take care. Bye-bye.